Hey everyone, welcome back to another Godzilla Battling video, and today we're taking a look at the unit investment guide that I made in February. Now, it is July 2022. We have not received the buffs or nerfs information for the August season, which is fine. We are going to just operate under the assumption that these characters down below are not changing how they are, right? Earth, Jaguar, Mecha King Ghidorah, Shin Godzilla, Naraga, Ultraman. I'm operating under the assumption right now that they are not getting any changes. The one that I could see a nerf for is definitely Ultraman. Maybe a buff for Shin. Otherwise, I think they're going to be totally unchanged. I don't, obviously if you watch this in August and maybe, Ultima gets kneecapped and he doesn't become a long-term investment anymore, that's something that we'll discuss in a separate video. But for now, this is overall the general investment guide. Now, I'm not going to sit through and redo this guide and replace all these characters in the 3 tiers because I already have a video placing all of them, and I will link it somewhere in the video. So if you didn't watch it in February, you can watch it now. I will say that we're going to be moving some characters around. There's not a lot of characters dropping out of the long-term investment category, or there was actually. I already moved them and I forgot to put them back. But there's going to be characters moving up, right? It's mostly moving up. There's not a lot moving down. So I'm just going to start with the characters coming down. Then we're going to go to the characters moving up. And then we're going to do the new characters. So the first character to move down is Rodan. He was up here somewhere, and I moved him down. Also, the characters are not listed in any particular order, by the way. It's just the order that they were on the sheet down here. I'm moving Rodan down into short-term investment. As the meta has evolved and as we've gotten more and more flyers, regular Rodan, while being a decent unit, is not doing enough for your team that some of the other flyers do. He's not doing a huge chunk of damage like a Leo. He's not healing or speed boosting like Fire Rodan. He's not damage buffing like Batcher. He's not doing AoE like King Ghidorah. He doesn't have the damage that Mega Gearus has, right? He doesn't have the piercing of Ghidorah or Ultraman either, the speed of Ultraman, right? He is basically the Mecha Godzilla of the flyers. Mecha Godzilla is like the default ground unit. Rodan is like the default flying unit. So he's getting moved down. Now we have a lot of characters graduating from short-term to long-term after a few buffs and updates. So the Dimension Tide is getting moved up. Dimension Tide is getting moved up because it's a good long-term investment because you don't really need to invest anything into it. It always is going to be pulling, right? The more you invest, the more damage it does. I'm pretty sure it doesn't increase the pull distance. But there's too many characters that are working really, really well in the last few seasons with Dimension Tide that it wouldn't become a long-term investment, right? Leo is good with it. Ultraman is good with it. Ghidorah is good with it. King Ghidorah is good with it. Batra good with it. You want to just use anything to pull into your higher level characters with any buffs you have on them, and you're set. Ghidorah moving into long-term, because Ghidorah is kind of, in definition, a long-term investment that you have to, you just got to grind All-Star Battle for months and months to get to usable level, and at this point in the game, there are enough G-Materials running around that you could get him to a reasonably high level only on G-Materials. So, he is himself always an investment, but now he's just easier to get. He's going to become a good long-term investment. He's better than Mecha King Ghidorah is at equal levels. No reason why you wouldn't want to invest in him long term. Fire Rodan obviously is getting moved out of short term. This list was made before Rodan got the buff. So before he had a 20-second evolution on this one, which really made it impossible to use this Fire Rodan. Now with the on death evolution, Fire Rodan is everywhere. He's healing like crazy. He's giving speed boosts. S tier unit through and through. He does a lot for your team. Now they're on the long term investment. They're like a must use. Not a must use, but they're pretty good. Trains is next. Trains had their energy cost lowered, and just that lowering of the cost is really good. The damage is solid, but for the 5 cost that it just wasn't viable. For 3, very, very viable, very good evolution killer, very good with Dimension Tide. I'm not a big fan of it, but it is undoubtedly seeing a lot of play. And then I wanted to move out of here Leo and Space Godzilla. Leo, I'm moving out of long-term investment because Leo just got a series of buffs that make him a lot better. Or not a lot, but slightly better, but it's enough to make a difference. Paired with Dimension Tide, Leo is going to be very, very solid as well. And with the rise of Ultraman And, you know, Ultraman's not going to be rentable in August, but a lot of people are going to have their Ultraman at like level 4 or higher. So, Leo can counter Ultraman in the sky and on the ground, as opposed to Caesar, who could only do it on the ground. And with the rise of flying meta units like Batra, Fire-Rodan, Mecha King Ghidorah, Leo can also hit them, while Caesar can't. Leo, just the utility that Leo provides has become more consistent, right? Before it was Caesar could hit everything because all the most powerful units were on the ground. Now, all the most powerful units are in the sky. Caesar can't hit them, Leo can. Boom. Next is Space Godzilla. And Space Godzilla hasn't had any significant changes in the few months since this video was made. However, Batra has been meta for so long. And Batra is undoubtedly the most requested unit to get nerfs by the community. Inevitably, when Batra gets nerfed, Space Godzilla is going to take his spot in most teams, because you're always going to want to have that damage boost on the field. His crystals are good, his damage boost is good. It's just Batra is easier to use at the moment than Space Godzilla, but as soon as Batra becomes unusable, Space Godzilla's taking that slot. Mark my words. Alright, graduating from the avoid category into the short-term category is Burning Godzilla and the M-Bob base. Burning Godzilla is really good at like the lower levels of your game, and if you can get him to a high enough level, he's not going to be meta, you know, or very usable in the high ranks, but if you are using a G54 and you can get burning out for 3 and your burning is like a 9, like level 9, that's going to be cracked, right? So having him for 3 is really, really good. He's going to go in the short-term investment section because he's not really doing a lot for your deck on his own, but when he comes from 954, he's going to be really, really solid. M-Bob base is also getting moved. M-Bob base is getting really solid. It's really good for stall decks, and as Kiryu leaders, you know, Kiryu is getting higher and higher level, so as more Kiryu leaders see play, M-Bob base is going to be put in for stall decks, especially paired with Earth. Stalling is going to be huge to get that Absolute Zero Cannon, then just pop them with the trains for a quick win. People do it. I'm not a fan of the quick wins for the trains, but if you get Absolute Zero Cannon, that's your own fault. Alright, that's all the characters that are moving up or down. Let's talk about the brand new characters. Earth is definitely a long-term investment. Earth is one of the best characters we've gotten in a long, long time. And especially right out the gate, he is super usable. Level 5, he's going to have almost 5,000 health. That is crazy. If you are a low-level player, if you're a brand new player, like day 1, and you pull Earth, throw him in your deck. It doesn't matter that he costs 9 energy. That health is going to be a lot for other new players to deal with. And the more that you invest in him, the further along you play in Battle Line, he's just going to get stronger and stronger. Right? He's huge. All of the whales are now starting to use him. All the high-level players are starting to use him now because they got like him at level 10. Crazy damage, crazy health. You pair him with the right team, he's unstoppable. He's a mandatory, you need to deal with this as soon as he's on the field, because if he gets too close to you without taking a significant amount of damage, he might end up just killing your leader before you could kill him. Especially when his health reaches 33%, he gets like a 50% damage boost or something like that. I may be wrong on those statistics, but he gets a damage boost when he falls below a certain percentage of health. Cracked. Great unit. Amazing unit. I like him a lot. I've always liked him a lot. And he is one of the only units that we've had post-launch that as soon as they dropped, were able to actually make a significant change to gameplay. I really like Ultima, or not Ultima. I do really like Ultima, but I really like Earth a lot. I've always really liked Earth a lot in this game. If you got him, don't feel bad investing in him. He's really, really solid unit. Alright. The Jet Jaguars are going into the Avoid section. The pre-evolution Jet Jaguar gives a buff and is good for, like, Meat Shield. Alright unit. The evolution unit is just not up to par with the rest of the 4-stars at the moment. He can, like, reliably beat 2 units like Anguirus and GD9, which Anguirus is seeing a lot more play these days. GD9 is not. GD9 is being used as a leader these days a lot more. At high levels, I'm being told that this Jet Jaguar will work really well, but that's like at 30, like 20, 25, 30. Like, this Jet Jaguars are seeing a lot of, like, use, but that is a very, very long-term investment, and I do not recommend that you go hard in Jet Jaguar. Literally every other character in the long-term section on this list is good for your deck at any point in time, not just at the very end of your deck's life cycle, right? Or your account's life cycle even, so. He's going down there. First form, really solid. Second form, not so much. But unfortunately, if you evolve this one, you have to use this one. I don't like them. I love how they look. I love their design. I love their kit. But I don't think it is a good investment in the long run. Mecha King Ghidorah is being obviously a good long-term investment. King Ghidorah is a long-term investment, is very good. Mecha King Ghidorah is just slightly better than regular King Ghidorah. Not really too much to say. If you watch the previous video that I had linked previously in this video, King Ghidorah is good. Mecha King Ghidorah is just slightly better. Des Ghidorah is better than the both of them. But both fill a different role in your deck. This is AoE. This is piercing. Do whatever you want with either of the two of these guys. They're both very, very good. I don't really think we need to explain Mecha King Ghidorah because obviously regular King Ghidorah is really solid as, you know, just normally. It just takes a little while. Actually, not. It doesn't because he had a 45-second evolution and now he's on death evolution, so it just makes him even better, honestly, right? When this video was made, he wasn't even in the game. And then 2 months ago, he was an on death or a 45-second evolution, and now he's an on death evolution. Makes him better. So, big fan of Mecha King Ghidorah. He needs a few changes, but I think he's pretty good. All right. Short term, this is going to hurt a lot of players, is Shin Godzilla. I almost wanted to put Shin Godzilla in the avoid section, but I don't think you could. I don't think that's fair. I think he is definitely good short term. He's a powerhouse if he's doing his AoE, which only triggers against air units, which is good because there's a lot of air units in the meta. Now, he gets rocked by anything touching the ground. As soon as he goes to his single target attack, he's just going to get absolutely fried, right? And he only uses a single target attack when he's facing a ground unit. So, Ultima, he's going to, you know, lose to Ultima. He's going to lose a Hedorah. Caesar, the Kamacuras, you know, Space Godzilla, stuff, Earth, G89, stuff, anything nailed to the ground is going to be a very bad time for Shin Godzilla. So, that's why I think he's short term. I mean, listen. He's the amazing flying anti-air. Could have been the counter to the air meta, right? He's so slow that it is so incredibly difficult to build a push with him. His AoE is phenomenal. You get that AoE procced on defense, you're having a really good time. He's hitting everything. But he's so slow, it's so hard to make a push with him. It's so hard to evolve him, too. You know, first you have to have this guy evolve into this guy, and then this guy evolve into this guy, but this guy could die, and then it's a mess. It is too much. Like, I understand that they wanted to go for something unique with the 3-stage evolution and make him a special unit. But it's too much, and it's not really helping him out. If you like Shin Godzilla, go for it. I don't think he's gonna drop out of your deck pretty fast. All right, the two latest units, Naraga and Ultraman. Naraga, I think, also is a short-term investment. Naraga brings a lot of utility to the team, and this is the only unit I feel not 100% on. He could be good long-term. At the moment, I think he's a good short-term character. He's very slow. His benefit is that he has one of the fastest stuns in the game, and he is stealth, so he'll always have the first hit in a battle. He's really good for countering Super X's. He's really good for stunning flying units, taking aggro. He doesn't have too much health, though. So as soon as he stuns and takes aggro, he's got like 2 or 3 good hits before he dies. Not amazing. And he gets countered by Ultraman. They introduced a really good stunning unit with invisibility, which is awesome. And I think the bomber should adopt the invisibility as well. But Ultraman is immune to stun. They introduced 2 characters, and I guess it makes sense because he's a villain in the Ultraman show, and he's the hero, so he's got to be better than him, so he's immune to stun. Which devalues Naraga, honestly. I mean, I don't think it devalues Manila too. I mean, it does definitely devalue Manila a lot, but he's not going to go into the short term just purely because of his range. Naraga just doesn't have too much health, and he has to get really close to a character, so when he does stun, he's taking aggro and then dying. Really decent in team fights, but you're going to have to watch yourself, because he's brand new, it's going to take you a while to level him up, but I like him a lot. I think he has a lot of potential to go into the long term, but at the moment, I'm not going to say that he is. Finally is Ultraman. This is a no-brainer. This is a long-term investment. Ultraman is so good. Ultraman cracked out this season. If you played this game, you know. If you watch any of my content, you know. You watch anyone's content on YouTube for this, you know about Ultraman, right? Stun immunity, piercing, long range, flying, and ground. Attacks out of leader range. He's got everything going for him. He's got a decent attack. At level 3, he has stats that are comparable to a level 30 Super X. At level 5, he has better stats than his attack is better on its own than the level 30 Super X is. And the level 30 Super X attacks 3 times in one shot. I don't know if I want to spend the rest of this video just gushing on Ultraman. There's plenty of videos on this channel that are just Ultraman love fest, where I'm just telling you he's the best unit in the game. He very well might be the best unit in the game, and going forward, he probably still will be. That stun immunity is going to come in handy. That range is going to come in handy. And without some serious nerfing, he's going to be pretty dominant going forward for the next few months. Now, like I said at the beginning of this video, we don't have the August patch notes yet, so we don't know if Ultraman is getting nerfed. So I'm operating under the assumption right now that he is not. If he does, there will be obviously a video on this channel. There's always a video when the nerfs and the buffs information goes live. I expect that to be maybe around July 27th or the 28th, so tomorrow or the day after. Most likely tomorrow. I'm going forward as if Ultraman isn't getting nerfed, and he's going to be the best unit in the game. So those are my thoughts. This is my updated investment guide. Let me know what you guys think down below. I think it's a good thing that a lot of units are long-term. Some people could think that maybe I am, fattening up the long-term part of this roster and saying that there's a lot of good units. The good thing is that there's a lot of really viable characters in this game, right? There's a lot that you can be using to pad out your deck and make it really good. Leaders, some good leaders in here and stuff like that. Good utility, good damage in here. There's a lot. And the fact that there's a lot of monsters that are viable, maybe not meta, but are very usable, is good for the overall health of the game. That's just my thoughts. These are just my opinions. Let me know if you think differently. I think there's going to be a lot of people who think differently about Shin Godzilla. There usually are. But let me know what you think down below. Thank you all for watching. I will catch you all on the next one. Bye-bye.